I'm Alessandra Barrett, Senior Content Editor for JOC. I'm at our 16th Annual TPM Conference, and I'm speaking with Lionel Louie, Chief Commercial Officer for CargoSmart. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi.
The shipping industry is seeing more and more digitizing of data. Can you talk to me a little bit about where that's going?
Actually, the shipping industry has been going through digitizations ever since the turn of the century. So EDI, for example, has been there for a long time. I would say that is like a first phase of the digitizations. So just this past 5 or 10 years, we're seeing a turn of a second phase of this digitizations. So carriers, forwarders, shippers, and ports and terminals, they are looking at digitizing a lot more about big data and looking at much more bigger volume of data. That's what we are seeing. So it's all about unstructured data in this phase that we're seeing.
So why does this matter?
Well, the digitizations for the past 30 years is primarily EDI. CDI at the moment is just not good enough because EDI data generates when the events actually occurred. But a lot of the data right now is generated, it's affecting the shipments, such as the vessels movements, the port traffic conditions. All this are also relevant to our shippers' shipments. So when they are making decisions or they are making changes of plans, they need all these informations on hand and be able to make them make decisions based on that.
So what are the big challenges with the data that you encounter?
So what we are seeing, to access all this data, shippers can do all that, but to actually properly lay it out, because all these different data has different attributes and different relationships across. For the shippers, it's relevant to their own shipments, relevant to their port pairs requirements, relevant to their particular commodities. It's very, very hard. And that's what we are seeing, this big challenge for these shippers.
What does this mean to shippers, though, in their everyday?
Well, shippers can use all this data and look at their own demand plan and make decisions or make changes to their plans as well. So first, I would say in terms of selecting the right carriers with the best rate strategy, it's not really working. At this time, where the fuel cost is low, it's not actually the best. So you have to look at transit time, you have to look at how reliable they are, look at the customer service, meaning a lot of the documentations, how they turn around these informations makes a big difference these days. So secondly, I would say in terms of a demand plan, so we'll talk about demand plan, a transportation plan, because they are managing a matrix of network of trade lanes, products going through different countries or different regions. They're going through different carriers. They are going through different requirements in terms of timing of all these goods shipping. So they have to look at the multiple facets of this data to really find the optimal plan for this. Thirdly, I would say if the cargo is in transit, there are a lot of information that will affect the time of arrival of these goods as well. So things like severe weather conditions, port congestions, labor issues at the arrival ports or even the departure ports, and sometimes ship accidents also happens. So at that near real time, what additional plans that you can do downstreams in terms of adjusting the flow of the goods, that's very important as well.
Those are sort of shorter term. What about looking a little bit farther out?
When you have all this data, when you historically lay them all down, it helps the shippers actually look at how each of the carriers are stacked up in terms of their reliability, in terms of their pricing, in terms of their customer services. So all this data actually helps the shippers to look at longer term contracts and how they negotiate contracts with these carriers as well.
Great. Well, thanks for taking time to speak with me today.
Thank you.
I've been speaking with Lionel Louie, Chief Commercial Officer for CargoSmart.